Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Career to Coach Spotlight. And so I am so thrilled and excited to have our guest here today. I have the honor and the pleasure of being a part of a same mastermind with this gentleman. And so, he's on fire. His business is just growing. And we have a group community and he's always posting like this success story. And I'm just so excited to just share have him share where his journey so that you can just see that it is possible. Because I know so many people kind of question those beginning phases of business, like what it looks like. Is it really possible? Can I really do this? And I know that he has a journey and he's going to be able to share that with you. And just know he's going to be such an awesome inspiration for you. So today I want to welcome my good friend, Noy Shani. And so, Noy, welcome, welcome, welcome. So excited to hear your story and have you share with the community. So I don't want to waste any time. Just welcome. If you could just kind of share with us how you got into the coaching industry, what's your background, and what that journey, looked like.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you for having me. Great to
Absolutely.
be here with everyone. So, this is a big question. So essentially you're asking how it started and how it started?
Yeah,
Is
like
that
so
the
what was your
question?
initial background and then like how did you even get into the coaching industry? Or did you always start in coaching?
No, I certainly did not always start in coaching. Yeah, I was actually a sports journalist and I've worked as a sports journalist covering, things like, football and cricket and rugby and a bit of NFL, NBA, tennis, horse racing, a lot of stuff, but mainly football and a bit of cricket. Those were my main two. And I was a self-made journalist originally and I had a bit of dip my toe into IT and so quite like the nerdy side, like the data and database and all that. When I certified myself as a sport journalist, then at the tail end of me working in the industry, that was already like 17, 18 years in it. I had the big breakdown. I just got completely burnt out. And from that was actually my last salary job. That was actually around this time that I left the industry, like as an insider, so to speak, 5 years ago, September 2019. And from that on, I actually went, believe it or not, into digital marketing from all things, not even coaching. Having said that, I did have vocational coaching experience in the previous decade. I led self-development programs for an international company based in London, and it was vocational because I wasn't paid for it, and you can say volunteering, but I just saw it as like a mission, right? Because what I was getting from it is being with people, right? And it got me real life skills like speaking and being present, and it actually got me the results. This is how I met my now wife. She wasn't in the program, but the skills that I've gained actually all thanks to coaching, because I was also at some point going through a divorce. So there's a lot of components here, as you can hear. And
Yeah.
so I what happened is after that breakdown that I was just sharing with you, I had another one. I did quite well during COVID, like during the initial part of the pandemic, because everyone wanted to work from home, right? And that's what I was supplying. So there was this like gold rush, so to speak. I don't know if that's the word to put to it, but it went well. It generally went well. And I wasn't making millions, but or anything like that. I was making more than I earned in my job. And I remember my wife would go to tell her parents, oh no, not this amount and that, I mean, it was great for my ego. It was great for my ego that my wife sort of raving about me to her parents, right? But then something happened. I started self-doubting and self-sabotaging, and I realized that the same patterns from my period of getting burnt out and losing hope, then I've never dealt with them, right? And I don't know about you, Monica, and I'm sure the viewers, the listeners will, agree. When you change a house, move to the other end of the world, I was in the UK and now I'm in New Zealand because my wife is a Kiwi. And but the start, it's not because of the move, because I was doing really well at the start. But when you change a house, a job, a city, I don't know, a boyfriend, like a girlfriend, like, I don't know, the setting, you think that all your answer, like you resolve everything because you change, like the thing, right? But you'll be surprised how many times your problems chase you to the other country, to the other end of the world, right? You know what I mean? Like, right?
Gotcha.
And that's what was going on for me. And at the tail end of that, I was again absolutely miserable. Like I was definitely not performing. I lost a lot of money. I got scammed. Like all sort of like bizarre things that happened, and I just didn't know how to. I even wanted to go back to the previous version that I was doing all right or doing well in that. I couldn't. Like no matter what I tried, I was just digging myself into even deeper. And that's how I found coaching. It found me. And
Mm,
so when I got to it to help myself, because I was in such a mental and emotional pain back at the time, that's what propelled me. I fell in love with the tools, with the how almost like magical it is, and how actually straightforward. And whilst I haven't gone into it in order to become a coach, it just found me, and let's say I got more than a bargain for. And
yeah.
that's how I started.
Yeah.
Like pretty much, yeah, just slightly over 3 years ago, September 2021.
Yeah, awesome. And it's interesting that you say that because I think a lot of new people that come into or considering coaching, they're kind of like, oh, I don't know if I can do anything. I don't know if I have anything to offer. And then I think just so, and especially the more and more I do these episodes, the more I realize that, a lot of people go into coaching because of their personal experiences, because we kind of start to go through our own personal journeys or kind of on these searches, and then it leads us to coaching, and then like, oh, I love this, it's helped me so much, let me help somebody else. And so yes, that's powerful. And just kind of, just seeing that a lot of times that's how it happens, is like you said, it kind of finds us because of things that are going on in life, and then we just kind of start to kind of go down that path for our personal reasons, but it ends up allowing us to make that transition to helping other people. And so, and if you can, like, some that's, yeah, it's an awesome story, thanks for sharing that, for sure. And then can you speak to like some of those mindset shifts that you had to make going from like traditional employment into the coaching industry, since it was kind of a new thing for you, kind of transitioning into coaching?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I actually, it happened in stages. It didn't happen overnight. And actually, just to illustrate, the mindset shift already started in my previous business. Like, and I'll explain what I mean. I was buying a certain product that was, one of those kind of cheap, like $7, I don't know, $27 kind of thing that you can, in any industry, you can find self-help stuff at that price. You can find, learn how to do DIY, whatever. There's all sort of like stuff online. And some of them are not very good, right? Like some of them are, you pay the money and, they aren't great. Like, oh, like they're pretty rubbish. But I remember this is before my success in my previous business, but it's the start of the mindset shift. I was already asking for a refund because that was for that system. I can't remember even what it was called and what it was doing. Something that was supposed to publish blog articles somewhere.
Oh,
Um, and it was full of bugs. Like it was, yeah, it was kind of like they released something that has 2 pages and doesn't really work.
gotcha.
And it's not like it would have broken the bank, but I remember approaching them and I was emailing support or through the ticket system and I was asking for a refund. And they said no, we only refund if it's like a technical thing. Like, right. But like I don't really want to start fighting with them because of like $7 or $27. Like, is it really worth my energy? Something clicked in my head, and this is very true for anybody that want to cross the line from thinking they want something to really being that thing. And that was, I tie back to them. I think I took the night to think about it. Like, like what will I say? Like, because it's not like I was going to sue them for that amount. Like it's like
Yeah.
pointless, right? So I would cop the losses, like probably like the tiny losses, but I would not have learned the lesson had I replied the way I replied. I replied the following day, you know what, guys, I'll make it work. I'll make it work. Yeah. And they replied, okay, cool. Yeah, thumbs up or something. Yeah. So you know, guys, I get it, I'll make it work. And as I was replying this, it's almost like I could feel like a shift.
Mm.
And the only way I could explain it is it's like I moved from being the entitled person, the consumer, the one that is like, I'm entitled for this because, hey, I bought this product. How dare you sell me something that is, crap or doesn't work or like lacking or like, I don't know, maybe I bought and like, frankly, I did not pay much thought like buying it, which is kind of like, so I was the victim before. I
Yeah.
was the victim because I was not being responsible for the fact that I bought it and making it work. Now, it's true that it was a lacking product. Now, even after I said that, I still think the product was crap. Like I would admit it, like, right? But the mindset shift was that I I wanted to get that I shifted from being the consumer, the entitled consumer, to being a partner.
Gotcha.
And that moment was, this is in my previous business that when it just started, right? I'm talking to you like July-ish 2019, right? And that actually allowed me to team up with the guy that created this and I understand, look at it from a different perspective, look at it from the creator's perspective, from the business perspective. And he actually became one of my first mentors in the field. And believe it or not, 2 weeks after, and this is after many, many, many years of trying online, like in business, not to do with coaching. Like I was kind of, when I say trying, I was kind of dipping my toe in, quitting, dipping my toe in, quitting. So I wasn't at it, but it was 8 years of back and forth of trying various things. But now I was finally ready. I was finally ready because I made that move. I was no longer the consumer. I was the partner. So I was like with him, right? And when I did that, like not only like before that, I would not compromise on hiring him. Like a week and a half or two after, I made my first ever sale online. $5 sale, US. Like, whew, I was like, $5. Like, this is like ridiculous, right? Like, but 3 days after that, I made 200 in one day while I'm sleeping. I was like, oh my God. Now, this is not even coaching. Why am I telling you that? Because it's the same move. If you're coaching someone and that person is like kind of like a wall, like they're the entitled person, like until someone and whether you are developing your coaching business and you have your own mentors or you are looking for someone or you are the one looking for the breakthrough, until you cross that line, the threshold from the consumer mindset to the partner mindset that you are in it with your coach, you are in it with your mentor, you are in it with your business, you're like fully surrendering to that thing, like, and you drop all the BS, you drop all your previous misconceptions, like, and opinions, and this shouldn't be right, and this is not fair, and this product is crap, or this incomplete. When you drop all of this, all of that is like the facade. When you drop all of that, what you discover that you are it. You are it. You step into being that thing. And when you step into being that thing, you will not get distracted by the shiny object syndrome. You will not get distracted by that because you will be on point. You'll just harness that power of one, of like one system, one mentor, like one way, right? And the funny thing about it, there were periods of time later on that were maybe a few weeks here, a few weeks there, like this month was less good than the other. That like the shiny object syndrome will keep coming at various times. And funnily enough, I'm glad to share that every time that I had the shiny object syndrome and I have attempted something else rather than what I'm in, like already, like every time that I surrendered again, I found the power again. So it's like you have to continuously recommit, continuously recommit. It's not a one and done thing. You cannot say, like, all right, okay, I've crossed the threshold, so I'm good for good, right? Yeah, like I'm sorted. It doesn't work like that. You have to continue. There's demons, because as you grow, you will have at every level imposter syndrome and shiny object syndrome. And am I doing enough? And if someone tells themselves or other people they never had it, they're lying. And if they not having it at all, they're playing too small. You know what I mean? And so that crossing a really thin line between the entitled consumer to the partner, the one owning it, that was like the biggest lesson. And I continuously have to apply that, like for every now and then, and like every time you recommit, then you unlock a different version of yourself.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I love that. No, I really haven't thought about it in those terms of being like the partnership, between your coach and, because you see your coach as your mentor, but like, yeah, it's a partnership. And that's so true because anything that we do, like nothing's perfect. And so I think one of the biggest things is in making that transition from career to coach or business in general, like you were saying, is just taking that more responsibility for the outcome and not I think when we're used to working for somebody else, then we're used to, showing up, we do the work and we expect them to pay us. We expect them to do whatever, provide whatever resources or make sure that experience is what it's supposed to be so we can do our job. And so when it turns to business, then that is a big shift that we have to make to understand that we are, like I said, you said in partnership, we're the ones that control kind of the outcome. And so sometimes when things aren't the best, we still have to kind of figure out how to maneuver around those things. So yeah, that's powerful. I never really thought about it in that term. So that's awesome. And now I will say too,
Yeah.
though, now you are also the master of consistency. Like I'm like, man, I need some juice from Noy to, just consistency because that's a huge part of success in any business, especially in coaching. And like I said, we had like a little competition that we did as a part of our mastermind, and Noy was on it. Noy was doing his thing, and so but that was a challenge in itself, just the consistency and being able to kind of keep going when things maybe aren't going the way we want it to go. And, or we're expecting to sale and it doesn't happen and things like that. So can you speak to like, how do you stay motivated? How do you keep pushing even when, business isn't going the way that you want it to go? Or maybe if, you kind of get off track, like how do you stay on track? How do you stay in momentum, even though things aren't going the way you want it to go? Or you having challenges?
Yeah, no, this is a great question. So this is something that you have to keep recommitting to again and again. And sometimes you slip and you have to just love yourself and accept that and be kind to yourself and go back on track. But what keeps me able to go back on track even when it happens, because affect, like you're saying, nobody is. Um, what kept me going through this competition you're referring to, Monica, and just in general is I, for those of you that don't know, so I'm a peak performance coach for like media professionals and a hypnotherapist. So I work with the unconscious mind, and I know I have a really great rapport like with my unconscious mind, meaning I know that I'm so powerful. If I can very easily and it works both ways. It could be negative and positive. I can very easily influence myself to go down either route, like very, very quickly, sometime in a matter of maybe minutes, like,
Mm.
right? Because your state is the most important. So my best hack is actually to find meaningful activities, thing that you can do that are symbolizing the person that you want to become.
Mm.
For example, cold showers. Now, cold showers for the sake of cold showers mean zilch. Like I don't care. That's just water. Like I mean, like by the way, when one of my coaches said that uh, uh, it's approaching 2 years that I started doing them. And aside from an initiated break that when I was away of 30 days, aside from that block of 30 days in April, like this year, since the 13th of January 2023, I have been doing a cold shower every single day.
Mm.
So I took a 30-minute initiated break and then literally, sorry, 30 minutes, 30 day, came back to it. So you can argue that I was already on a run of like 15 months by the time I took the break, and then I'm now on a new run since like the start of May.
Wow.
So, right, why am I doing that? Because I know that the unconscious mind acts on symbols, and what I mean by that is why do you think this is for everyone, not for you to answer specifically, Monica, but I know you get it, right? Why do people take bodybuilding, like or running a marathon, or I don't know, like something else? It doesn't have to be sports, right? Because it embodies some level of discipline that one has to take. Now, when you take that like regular workouts, the eating healthy, whatever that means for you, because yeah, and I'm not giving any nutrition advice or anything like that specifically, right? When you take on, acts like, journaling or cold showers, and again, it's not like you need to take all of them because I said so, because it doesn't work like that. You need to start with one thing, take on one thing that's like, or two things, like so. No, it doesn't get you overwhelmed, and get running with that thing, whatever that is, and you will very, very quickly find yourself that it's easier for you to say yes to things. Like when I say easier for you to say yes to let's say contacting people, calling people, messaging people, to putting posts up, to being more upbeat on calls, to generating more breakthroughs to your people, because you hold yourself at a different standard when you are showing that discipline. Does that make sense? Like you, through those things are only symbolic. So you need to make your own connection. So I'm saying to you that, like, someone needs to start take bodybuilding just because, right? If that does it for you, and that's a symbolism of that, go for it. Like, right? I'm not taking bodybuilding. Like I am exercising 4 times a week. I'm having my cold showers. I'm having a few like at the practices and feeling like that. But those are the things that I started with. And a few things that like I do with money, and like small, like little things that help me a lot, like in the mindset, just overall. But like taking those things on, it's absolutely priceless. It's very underrated. People are like, oh, yeah, I'll take cold shower. You need to make that connection. Unless you make that connection in your mind, like then you just do it because someone else said, or because you saw Wim Hof having an ice bath, like it's not good enough. You have to make that emotional connection. Like, right?
That's it.
Fate it until you make it. Not fake it, fate it. Fate, Fate. Fate it until you make it.
Wow, awesome. And so it sounds like just finding that activity that you can be consistent with. Is that kind of, would you say it kind of allows you to now, because you're consistent with that thing that may be a little bit of a challenge, then it builds your confidence in doing the other things and consistency in the other areas? Is that kind of how that connection?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, you have to have some standards like non-negotiables, right? For example, I'm posting content, I'm posting 3 or 4 times a week. Even before I did any cold showers, I have not missed a single week of three or more posts since the 31st of March 2022,
Nice.
right?
So,
I have
yeah.
not missed a single week, like of 3+ posts, right? Stuff like that. So now I don't need to fret over that, because it's like just a thing I do, right? And the content, the ideas will come and all of that kind of stuff. Sometimes I'm kind of jotting a lot of ideas in advance and shooting them. So, but what allows me to those things that are, let's say, I don't know, everyone has that thing that kind of evades them, right? Whether it's calling or messaging or putting content or uh, asking for the money, asking for the sale, or um, putting himself out there on camera, whatever that is. So find something that symbolizes that, and then you notice how it makes it so much easier to do that thing that you previously resisted,
Yeah, that's awesome.
and just run with it.
Yeah. And I mean, you said that one little phrase you said, I think I do. It was very quick, but at the same time, it's such a powerful message. Because I think that's the other thing, too, is just understanding that. Because I think it's, again, when somebody's transitioning to coaching, something new, and we had, like you mentioned earlier, we have the imposter syndrome, we're procrastinating because we're scared of taking some of those other steps. And so it's just like, I think I do. It's like the more that we can take action, the more we can move forward, then the more clarity we'll get, the better we'll get. But sometimes it's just taking those initial actions. So it sounds like even just finding some activity that we can kind of relate to that activity to help build some consistency, but also having that mindset of, when I think if I I think I know I need to do this and just do it. I kind of taking action is a big part of getting things done and being able to do the activities that need to be done, be consistent, and that's what it takes to be successful, right? The habits, the consistency, and the action, right? It's the if we don't do the things that's going to really that's really going to help us build our business, then we won't succeed. So, um, yeah, so powerful, so powerful. And then if you had to kind of think about like that, if you were sitting down with a newbie, relatively new entrepreneur or coach, like what are some of the key, based on your experiences of kind of all the different challenges you've gone through business and kind of now in coaching, and you had your own ups and downs in coaching in itself. And so what are some of, like, if you had to say maybe like your two or three top things that you would recommend for somebody in the coaching industry or considering going into coaching, like what are some of the things that you would tell them?
Yeah, good question. By the way, I was so absorbed in the conversation, like I would just make one little adjustment, like this one to my setup here. I have this bad boy, and it's a lot that I forgot, but I was just like so in it,
Oh,
like
no,
with
you're
you.
good.
So I thought I'd bring it forward. Might also improve the sound. So um, start with identity. Start with identity. This is for everyone. This could be also if you are doing six figures. You always have to work on your identity to get to the next level. So if you are just starting, identity is a great place to be. If you are making 10K a month already or 5K, okay, 5K, what identity will get you to 10K a month? What? And it's not just the money, it's who you become. The identity is really become. So ask yourself this question: who do I need to be to generate my desired results?
Hmm.
Like the money I want, the influence, some people want fame, some people want to be don't care less. Some people just want to help people. I'm sure everyone deep down inside wants to help people, right? Otherwise, you and I wouldn't be here. Um, yeah, like who do I need to be to generate my desired results? Like the income, the influence, the difference that I'm making to other people, the how many people I work with, what sort of people I work with, like who do you need to be? And then start, when you see that, start reverse engineering that. Say, for example, someone is kind of like, I'll give you an example. One might perceive themselves as quiet or shy or something like that, right? An example.
Hmm.
And that's okay. That's okay. But it might not get you the result that you want. It's only okay. It's only okay. You're not dying because of that necessarily. Like, and it doesn't mean that as a shy person you cannot make money, because hey, you can go and walk for the man and type at the back, and you don't have to be like always like up front, like in front of the camera like that. But maybe you need a different identity if you've been that way for a while or all your life, right? Would you agree? Right? You like, yeah. If this is how you perceive yourself, it might be perceived as a limitation. So ask yourself, who do I need to be? And even look out to other people, like who you're looking up to, whether they are someone else in your industry. So if you're a coach, that could be another coach. If you can look up to celebrities or even someone from your family. Like I had one client that was looking up to a younger member of the family, like, and how tenacious she is and that. And one of the things that I advise her to do through just a conversation is like, hey, have you thought about interviewing that lady? Like, not in like official job interview, but just asking like, hey, let's call it Janet, like the other one. Hey, Janet, like, I'm mind blown by your like how you are dealing like with things and stuff. Like, do you mind sharing what do you believe in like on the day to day? So you are like that. So it doesn't have to be like this formal interview, like sit
Yeah.
down, answer, set the question. Like it's a very kind of conversational thing, right? And so start with identity. Start with identity, like and build it up from there. And then second, take that identity, even if you are not that, especially if you are not those things or you don't perceive yourself as those things. For example, say you perceive yourself as shy and you need to be outspoken, and you're not, like, reverse engineer. Like reverse engineer, what are some ideas that I can be that thing that will help me today? Like including the qualities, including the end result. Like if the answer is need to be outspoken and happy, how can you be happy today? right? And it's radical because a lot of people are like, I need to be, I need to have the money in the bank to be happy. Doesn't work like that. It's always the being first,
Mm.
right? So decide your identity, write that down, even share it with other people, whether it's your coach, mentor, your colleagues, whatever that is. Not everyone, just someone you trust, you entrust with, and they hear you, and start reverse engineering.
Awesome. Yeah, that's powerful, Noah. And I appreciate you. I mean, I knew that you would be coming with lots of wisdom. And so, I mean, I hope everybody took those. I mean, we've learned about what we can do to be more consistent, identity key to being able to figure out who we need to step into. And I was that person. So I definitely understand. I used to be the really shy person. And then I realized over time I had to take some steps to be able to become the successful coach I wanted to be. And then also, but there's still another version of myself that I have to to move to that next level. So powerful. Powerful. So I really appreciate that. And so, I mean, I definitely want to honor your time because I'm grateful for you being here. But I do want you to share a little bit before we go. How, if people want to know more about how they can work with you and what you do, what's the best way for them to be able to contact you?
Yeah, sure. And thank you so much for having me. And I would say this. So I'm running a free 5-day challenge called the 5-day Good Habits or Peak Performance Challenge. And if you would like to be registered for that for free, what we'll do is we will have a link and we'll also have like a little picture potentially with the QR code. So one of the two, either use the link or the QR code. That will be where Monica puts it. And then that will, when you go there, it will send you to a conversation with me and just type in their challenge of 5 days, something like that. And then I'll just hook you up with the details and get you registered for free for the 5-day Good Habits Peak Performance Challenge.
Awesome. And Noy definitely is, like as you can see here, packed with wisdom. And so he definitely can help you get your get things in place so that you can be have that peak performance and primarily specialize in media professionals. But reach out to him and he can get any question, help you get the questions answered based on where you are. And just like he said, we'll make sure that in this post you'll see either below in the comments or in the post the details for that. So we'll make sure that you get that information so that you can reach out to Noy if you want to know more about how you can work closely with him. And so again, Noy, I appreciate you so much. I'm looking forward to just kind of knowing. I just already know that this is going to impact so many people in the community. So I appreciate your time and I appreciate you sharing with us this evening. So, and I look forward to speaking with you again real soon.
Thank you so much for having me, Monica. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. And so, guys, we will see you next time for the Career to Coach Spotlight.